gentlemen of the press, our attention has been drawn to the deliberate misinformation and disinformation by certain Ijaw and Okere Urobo groups regarding the intervention of Mr. President in the ongoing dispute over the proposal by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to delineate units, wards, state and federal constituencies as it relates to Warri South local government area of Delta State of Nigeria. Permit us to say, and we must not fail to do so, use this opportunity to express our profound appreciation and gratitude to Mr. President for his fatherly intervention. Indeed, for his efforts geared towards resolving the lingering crisis. Be that as it may, we regret to observe that recent reports on social and mainstream media credited to Chief Gospar Benekama and Chief Victor Okumagba led groups of Ijaw and Okere Urobos as it relates to the Warri South local government area issue on this delineation exercise has misled the public about the outcomes of the meeting recently held in the Presidential Villa, Abuja, at the instance of Mr. President. Coincidentally, some of us sitting here on the table were physically present at the said meeting. And therefore, it behooves us to put the narrative in perspective. And that is the main purpose for this August press briefing. To set the record straight, Mr. President convened a meeting on the 11th day of June 2026 at the Presidential Villa. The meeting involved 7 representatives from each of the 3 major ethnic groups, Ijaw, Ishekiri, and Urobo, within the Warri Federal Constituency. The gathering was attended by His Excellency the Delta State Governor, and discussions focused on finding a peaceful and amicable resolution to the controversy surrounding the ward delineation exercise proposed by the Independent National Electoral Commission, as we all already know. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu emphasized the need for an alternative dispute resolution, ADR, noting that prolonged litigation and post-litigation disputes would not foster the peace and stability required for the socio-economic development of Warri Federal Constituency. As we all know, no meaningful development can take place in an atmosphere of dispute and rancor. Obviously, that was what weighed heavily in the mind of the president in calling this meeting. The Ishekiri and Urobos of Warri wish to state by this press conference that contrary to claims made by some Ijaw and Okere Urobo people, the president did not make any definite pronouncement on the broader delineation issues. Rather, he directed only the Ishekiri and Ijaw parties to engage in the discussion aimed at developing a mutually acceptable rotation formula in Warri Southwest and Warri North local government council areas. Now, let us be more specific. The president gave us a gift which has not yet condensed, which has not yet manifested, and that is a gift of 1 additional federal constituency. By implication, when this gift finally arrives, we shall be having 2 federal constituencies in Warri. One will be Warri Federal Constituency 1, and the other will be Warri Federal Constituency 2. Now, it is the proposed Warri Federal Constituency 2 that was the subject matter of the meeting for which the Ijaws present at that meeting and the Ishekiris present at that meeting were mandated to meet to discuss how they would rotate it between themselves, with the Urobos present to witness the deliberation. Pursuant to that directive, representatives of both ethnic groups met the next day, 12th day of June 2026, which was a public holiday. So the officers and men of the National Security Advisor's Office had to sacrifice their holiday for this particular meeting. After a 2-hour meeting, I dare say that the meeting was more than 2 hours. It was up to 3 hours. After a 2-hour meeting, at the conference room of the National Security Advisor on that day, chaired by the National Security Advisor himself, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, with the Deputy Director of the Directorate of State Services, Mr. Oluwatosin Adeola Ajayi, an agreement, a memorandum of understanding was reached between the Ijaws and the Shekiri leaders to the effect that the promised federal constituency, I repeat, the promised federal constituency will be rotated between the Ijaws and the Shekiris on an equal tenure. In other words, one of the ethnic groups will kickstart the process, take 2 terms, and the other ethnic group will take 2 terms. This does not extinguish the existing federal constituency we have in Warri. This point must be made. And there were different rationales that were used to determine who takes first. The first argument was that it is currently an Ishekiri person occupying Warri Federal Constituency 1. And therefore, it accords with reason to have the Ijaw start. The second one was, could we do ballot? We remove the issue of ballot. The third one, as I can tell you, is if you look at the alphabet, Ijaw, and you look at Ishekiri, you will see that Ijaw comes first before Ishekiri. So we considered all this in our minds and then agree that the Ijaws should kickstart with a 2-term tenure, and then it will rotate to Ishekiri's. It is vitally important to emphasize that Olorogun Victor Kumagba and Chief Westham Adeo were witnesses to the accord, to the MOU, signed by Ijaw and the Shekiri leaders, agreeing to the creation of Warri Federal Constituency 2. I'm calling this more carefully so that we don't confuse it with the state constituency. Warri Federal Constituency 2. From the existing Warri Federal Constituency to be called Warri Federal Constituency 2. The agreement for the creation of Warri Federal Constituency 2 explicitly stated the power rotation should be between Ijaws and Ishekiris, with the Ijaws taking the first slot of 2 terms, and same shall then thereafter apply to the Ishekiris. That I've already explained. The prayers. Okay, the prayers. In order not to be caught with time, not to be caught up by time, in light of the foregoing, we respectfully request as follows. 1, that INEC must immediately correct and upload the proper names, structure, and allocation of the 3 wards as previously presented in Warri GRA in consultation with our designated focal persons. Now, as you would have noticed, what was front-loaded on INEC's portal has 3 new wards created for the Ijaws. During the meeting with Mr. President, he noted that there is an issue with that particular area and that it needs to be looked at. It needs to be corrected to ensure that not only the name, but the structure and composition. And that is the most vital reason why we are meeting today. The Ijaws, the Urhobos and the Shekiris agree that the Ijaws are not politically in Warri South. And the courts have pronounced that from time to time. The Supreme Court did so. The High Court did so. The Court of Appeal did so. And they have gone to Supreme Court now. They have not been able to come back. So what they have not been able to achieve through the court, they want to achieve through their sister, Professor Rhoda Gumus, who was the chairperson of the Delineation Committee. And we did protest at that time that an Ijaw person should not be made the chairman of a committee to do delineation. We say in our local parlance that if you have a problem with a person and the person's daughter is the chairman of the court that will hear your matter, the outcome is very, very obvious. So we want to repeat that this particular crisis was instigated by Professor Rhoda Gumus, a person of Ijaw ethnic extraction that was made the chairman of the delineation committee by INEC. I am sure that if it was an Inshekiri man that was made the chairman, the Ijaws will not agree. If it was an Robo man that was made the chairman, the Ijaws also will not agree. So why? Why did we agree that an Ijaw person, an Ijaw leader of thought should be made the chairman of the delineation committee when we know very well that that person will have an interest in the outcome? We the Shekiris and Robos of Warri South local government area wish to use this opportunity to reiterate that there is no Ijaw community in Warri South. So thank you very much. That is the main essence of this press conference. May the Lord bless us all. Thank you.